All right. Hello.
Hello?
Okay. All right. So this is going to be Winston. What is the rank of this again?
This is I want to say plat 3.
Okay.
It's around there. It's plat 4 to plat 2.
Okay. Okay. All right. Uh okay. We're going to start getting into it. Before we do you have any questions for me?
I think so. I might have questions at the end for more like I don't know, like I have a lot of questions of how to like apply
Okay.
whatever we talk about, but
Mhm.
I think that'll be more helpful after I know what we talk about?
Yeah, 100%. And I can explain those things, those concepts later, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, before we get started, let me ask you this. How do you play Winston?
Um Basically you control angles and fight for them with your bubble.
Mhm.
You're really mobile, so you can contest a lot of different angles. He's not great at like sustained fights, so you have to kind of play around your downtime.
Okay.
Um, but the big thing is that he can like contest a lot of different angles, and hopefully like you're fighting on one angle and your team's like on an off angle from that, and you're protected by your bubble, and that makes a lot of space.
Okay. Okay. All right. Um, all right. And obviously, what range does Winston want to play at?
Like like close, but not like right on top of you, because you want to be able to play around your bubble a little.
Well, yeah, but
But like
pretty
close
practically
enough that you
close
can
range. Yeah.
zap people.
Yeah. Close range. Close range. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you so when we're kind of like thinking about how we're going to be playing on Winston, right? What is going to be the biggest thing that we're going to be looking for? Because like, again, Winston is a very hard engagey tank, right? What's going to be the biggest thing that we're going to be looking for when we are trying to figure out when we're going to go in?
Um, I would say probably like timing with your team. That
Okay.
like they're there to support you, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I'm not really sure about that one.
Okay, so yeah, timing with your team is one thing, is right is a really really good thing, right? Is there any times that you can go for a dive or an engage when your team isn't there?
I guess that depends on like who you're diving and
Okay.
where you're diving. Like you don't want it to be something where you can get like CC'd
Hmm.
and just blow up. Um, if
Okay.
it's like something where you can disengage, you're not like diving a turret form bastion, then
Okay.
it's probably okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's kind of get into this then. I want to see the things that I'm primarily going to be looking for in this game is going to be number one, your staging, how well you're going to be staging for your dives. Number two, how well you time your dives, and then number three, how well you execute on those dives. Because even though it might not look like it, Winston is definitely a mechanical hero. It's just that his mechanics aren't as much in his aim as they are in his ability to utilize his cooldowns effectively in terms of positioning them. Utilizing utilizing cover around the map and also primal mechanics as well. All right, so
Okay.
we're going to see how we can look at all three of these things, and we're going
Okay.
to try and see how well we're going to be doing from this. Okay. All right. So, if we look at the current situation in the map,
hmm
right? Where is my team right now?
In spawn, basically.
Right. And my tracer is not really in yet or doing anything
hmm
yet. So let me ask you this: is this good timing right now
No,
for going in for an engage?
not at
No.
all.
No. How would you have changed this? How would you make this better?
Um, Honestly, just like sit and zap and like alternate fire behind the bus
Hmm.
until my team gets closer.
Right.
I don't think that like the dive itself is bad. It's just the team's really far back.
Yeah. Team's really far back, so none of these people can do anything, right, to help you out. But which is number one. But number two, is that it means that one, two, three, four, and five can do everything in their power to make sure that you get out and that you get cleared out of this position.
Okay.
And
Is there a I like usually I go for this dive on Nimbani because like I've had trouble where my team just like can't walk up. So I usually jump up and just like make sure that they can get closer. Like I don't know. I've had a lot of I guess ashes in this game, but they just sit on the high ground. My team kind of never gets out from behind the bus. Is there like is that just like skill issue on my team and I have to kind of let them do that?
Well, no, because let me ask you this: if let's say your Cass, your Bap, your Kiriko, if they were right here, right, or behind, or up here to a degree, would they be kind of in a position where they can at least help to an extent?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Like your BAP could probably jump up here. Your Kiriko could spam and can wall climb up here and whatnot. Right. Your cast can just walk through main, maybe shoot a brig or something like that.
Okay.
Like
But
that's
there's just no benefit right now.
right. But it's not necessarily that there's no benefit right now. The problem is that they're not even at the bus yet. So if they were here, then like yeah, going for that dive would be fine because at least you have your team behind you. You can force some CDs over here and weaken the strength of their positioning up on your own high ground, right?
Okay.
And and then you would be able to use this once you've cleared this as staging for your next dive, if you can continue to stay here. But the problem is that they're just not even here yet. So if they're not here yet, that means that this is just going to be really, really, really torturous for you, right?
Okay.
Which bubble gets broken, you drop, and this is fine. But now that your team is here and actually able to do things, you're out of the fight. So if these guys start taking any serious damage, which they don't, because, well, actually, no, they do. Actually, Bap does take some serious damage. So it means that he's not able to like, kind of get this walk up right here, right? And we've even done a whole bunch of damage to this Sigma. Imagine how much more damage we would be able to do if we had Bubble here blocking Kiriko heals, right?
Yeah.
Or, and doing zap damage to the Sigma as well. Like, that would be great. But the problem is that we don't have any of these things because you're not in timing, on the same timing as your team. You're desynced with your team, right?
Okay.
So let's see what you do from now. Okay. Now let me ask you about that jump, right? From your understanding of Winston and how Winston works, was that a good jump?
I think it was fine. Because I don't know. I don't really think the Kiriko is like gonna bite me there. Like I expect most Kiriko's to TP out pretty fast.
Right. And
I've got cover with the pillar.
Okay. And as they should. Right. Which makes sense. Okay. So let me now kind of ask you this. When you're kind of evaluating this jump, when you're evaluating this decision that you've made up here, okay? First, let's ask, what does this jump do for you?
It's a better angle to stage if I don't have to use bubble.
Right. It's a better angle to stage. Do you have cover that you can use here?
Yes.
Right. You've got some cover that you can use here. You've got an angle to stage for another dive onto backline potentially. Right. So this clears out the space and allows you to use it. But now let's kind of flip the script a little bit. What does this dive do for this Kiriko?
It forces her out. She has to go. She's off the off angle.
Right. She's no longer on the off angle. She's used TP, right? And now she's stacked onto her Sigma, and now she's relatively in a position where she can be damaged by the rest of your team. Now, the rest of your team is low resources already because of the fact that you were desynced earlier, so it means that now they kind of lost that cycle.
I didn't even realize that. They forced lamp because of that.
Right. But now imagine if we hadn't used lamp and we were like right here after you pushed out that Kiriko, right? Yeah. Kiriko hits the TP. What happens now?
Everyone's shooting at her.
Right. That's going to be a Suzu force, right? In fact, it might even still be a Suzu force. I'm not entirely certain, right? Okay. Now your tracer just got a pick too. Now let's see what you do from here. Okay. Now let's look at the timing here. What do you think of the timing of this jump?
It might be a little late, honestly, because my cast is like in already, but I don't think it's horrible. Okay. I don't know if I had it off cooldown, to be honest. But
okay,
I think it's decent because the BAP he can peek Cass is fighting already. I think Kiriko. I don't know where Kiriko is.
Kirko's here.
But yeah, I think it's decent.
No, no, this is not. I wouldn't say decent for me. I would say this is good, right? And
Okay.
I want you to kind of be like that, where you're like, yeah, no, this is definitely good. Now, the cast being up here, I mean, you're playing in plat. Your teammates are going to make stupid mistakes. Your cast went in too early, right?
Okay.
But if we
Okay.
look at the majority of your team as a whole, you've got 1, 2, 3 almost there. Not exactly quite there yet, but almost there, right? This honestly, this jump could have been potentially a little bit early. Now, this is a problem. Right.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. But
Right. And that's a part of the mechanical thing, the mechanical
yeah,
aspect of the game, right? You messed up the bubble placement, and so now this is going to feel a lot worse for you. But how much space does this give for you and your team?
a lot.
Right, a lot. All right. So now let's look more at your perspective here. Nice, clearing that out. Nice job. And nothing else for me to say here. Nothing else for me to say. Good job.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, they swapped to Reaper, right? Does that mean that you go to the spawn room right now and swap off Monkey onto something else?
No.
No. All right. How? Let me ask you. How do you think you should play into a Reaper? How does that
Um,
change between how you were playing before and how you play into a Reaper now?
I honestly, I I feel like honestly he's not that bad of a counter. The
Mm-hmm.
big thing is like I can't like hard dive all of them if they're like 5 stacked together, and then I have to kind of stage where my team can see me because I can't beat him without bubble if we're just like both on the same lane.
Okay. So you said a couple things. You said a couple things, right? First of all, you said that Reaper isn't that bad of a counter into you and isn't that bad at bullying you out as Winston, right? And to be honest, I would kind of agree. If you pop Bubble and you're fighting a Reaper with Bubble, I honestly think that the interaction is not necessarily that horrible for you, right? Especially if you know how to bubble dance effectively, right? Now, but what you said, when it comes to kind of like changing the way that you're playing the game, is that I'm gonna have to stage in positions where my team can see me, and I'm not gonna be able to hard dive when they're all stacked. Now, I honestly think that I honestly think that that's not true, right?
Really? Okay. Uh,
Right. Okay. So, but the thing is, let me ask you. Let me start with the staging part. Why did you say that you need to stage in line of sight of your team?
um, because well, I guess it's just like if we're both shooting at each other, or not with me in line of sight of my team, although
Mm-hmm.
I probably would be, but like where the Reaper would be in line of sight of my team
Mm-hmm.
if he fights me.
Okay.
Um, I feel like it's just because like I feel like fighting a Reaper as Winston is like almost the same as a tank trade.
Right.
Um, because he like heals off of you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're probably not gonna kill him unless he's like used Wraith and everything already. Which
Right.
if it's staging, it's not gonna be.
Right. Okay. Which is true, right? But if you force him to use Wraith, is that a positive trade for you?
Um, honestly, I don't know, cause it's like similar cooldown to Bubble, right?
Right. It's similar, but it can be. It depends on the situation, right?
Okay, okay,
Right.
okay.
If this Reaper has something really strong that he can do with his Wraith form, then using Bubble to stop that, stop his ability to Wraith is totally fine. Because again, when it comes to Reaper's Wraith, he's not going to just be wraithing and staying where he is. He's going to be wraithing out, whereas you
Yeah,
are going to be staying in the position that you're at. So if you fight a Reaper in a good staging position and you make him wraith out of that staging position, you've claimed that space with your bubble, whereas he's lost that space and the cooldown of wraith. So to be
okay,
honest, it's not that horrible. Now, if there's a situation where you kind of have to go in really, really fast, like now, right, then yeah, that's not necessarily the best trade. But again, you got to think about the situation in general. Now, let me ask you this, because you talked about jumping into 5 people like all stacked together with the Reaper, right? Is there ever going to be a situation where you jumping into 5 people is going to be beneficial for you?
Honestly, no.
Why would you say that?
Or like jumping into, not, but like I just feel like if you're like 5v1ing as Winston, he's not really good at that.
Right.
I guess into is not a good word.
Right. Okay.
Because that's just like feeding regardless of who they have.
Right. Right. Right.
Um,
So you said something very special. You said 5v1ing is a
yeah.
really really poor thing. Yeah, but what if it's not a 5v1?
Well, then maybe it's okay.
Right? Because think about it. If you have all of your team shooting at all of the enemy team at the same time, that trade feels a lot more even, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Right? So
And you're honestly winning because they're zapping like 4 people.
exactly, because you're zapping 4 people, so you're doing a whole lot more damage with that cleave, right? So the key thing that I want to try to say is that we see Reaper, who's a quote unquote counter, right, to Winston. What I'm going to tell you is that seeing this on the enemy team does not change the way that you play the hero at all. You play
Okay.
the hero the exact same way. It's just that there are going to be a lot more situations where if you screw up, this thing will punish you a lot harder than something else will.
Okay, that makes
Right?
sense.
So that's just something to keep track of, and I'm wanting to see if you do kind of try to change the way that you play because you're like, oh, I'm fighting into a counter. All right. Let's see. Doomfist. Whatever. Also, something really, really cool. You doing this right here, I just want to kind of just point this out because it's really nice, right? You see how Winston kind of jumped even deeper into your backline to try and fight the Baptiste, but instead of kind of jumping after the Winston, you kind of sit over here and like shoot at the Kiriko.
Yeah.
This is effectively it's a very fundamentally sound decision, and it effectively is the correct decision and the accurate decision for 2 reasons. I want you to try and guess what those 2 reasons are. I want to see how
Um.
much you know.
Well, I mean, I think in the game I was shooting her just because she was the support. Um,
Mm.
and that's like target priority, just like basics. Um,
Mm.
but I guess like also against Doom, you kind of never want to be shooting the Doom,
Mm.
because you're just like never gonna kill him. Um,
Okay. All right.
yeah, I guess the answer is just like I think I can kill Kiriko, especially because I think she TP'd in.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not gonna kill Doom without my team, and my team can probably kill him without me.
All right. So, you said a lot of things that kind of at their base and at their core are pretty accurate, right? But the way that you said that you worded this was extremely dangerous, and I'm going to kind of tell
Okay.
you why, right? You said that this is good target priority, and I say yes, that's the truth. But the reason why this is good target priority has nothing to do with the fact that she's a support, and it has nothing to do with the fact that Doomfist is a tank, right? The reason why this is good target priority is because you're going after something that's easier for you to kill. This is the path of least resistance,
Okay.
right? So if I'm playing Winston and I see, and I have an option between like, a tank, let's flip it up. Let's say if the Doomfist was right here and the Kiriko was out here, right? Would I go and start, jumping at the Kiriko, or would I still keep shooting
Um,
at the Doomfist?
Probably just keep shooting at the Doomfist.
Now, why in that situation would I keep shooting at the Doomfist and jump out of the Kiriko? What's going to happen if I leave this Doomfist alone?
He's gonna kill my team,
He's
or
going
at
to
least live.
Right, he's going to live, or well, he's going to live, sure, but he's also going to start shooting at your team, right? So now let me ask you kind of this question, right? Even let's switch them back to the positions that they're at right now. If I jump out and try and chase at this Doomfist, does that really change the situation in that regard?
Um, I mean, I feel like it's maybe less bad here because like the Kiriko's probably gonna die anyways,
Right.
um,
Maybe less bad, but
but like
what's
it's still not great because I'm also just using a cooldown
right.
um, for like at best equivalent value.
Okay, right, and then that's going to be that's also kind of going to be another thing. But at the same time, you have to say maybe less bad, right? But what happens when the maybe becomes a maybe not, right? What
Yeah,
happens when
true.
this Kiriko kind of goes in and just two taps your tracer because it's gonna happen eventually,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where what it like Kiriko could just go in and hit like a 1v4. Heck, I've done that in games before. In my Kiriko games, I've hit 1v4s on people because they just kept on ignoring me, right?
Okay.
Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's just because it's Kiriko. This could be anything. This could be a freaking Mercy for all I care, right? But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
key idea is not necessarily about the fact that it's a support, right? The key idea is the fact that number one, it's easy to kill, and number two, if you leave this be, you are not making your job easier. You're making your job harder because now this can be free to support this or to get trade value here. So even though you're dealing with this here, this is still going to get traded out for something over here, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
So a really key important thing when you're playing tank, right? Or not even when you're playing, well, yeah, not even when you're playing tank, when you're playing literally anything. Really key important thing is number one, to target and focus on what's closest to you, right? Or what's easiest for you to kill. Generally going to be what's closest to you, right? But more importantly than that, if there is somebody who's diving onto your team and is an immediate threat and I need to help and I need to peel this off, the best way, for realistically speaking, for me to peel my team from this Doomfist is to shoot this Kiriko, right?
Okay. Yeah, because
Instead
then he
of
has to back off because he has no
right.
healing.
Right. So the value of me shooting at this Kiriko is going to be a pretty much equivalent, or even more so in this situation, than the value of shooting at the Doomfist, solely because this is easier for me to do and I don't have to use a cooldown to get there, right?
Okay.
And so now I'm thinking, instead of trying to think about, which specific target am I applying pressure to, just note that every single target that you apply pressure to, because of the way this game works, is all of that pressure is going to go around the circle of all these different players and all these different interactions, and it's going to affect everyone universally, right? So if
Okay.
I'm shooting at this Kiriko, it's going to be the same thing as shooting at this Doomfist, because I'm just stopping this Doom from getting healed easily, right?
Okay.
Right.
And then like if Doom was still there, um,
I'm.
it would just be like
What? Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
it would just be like I'm occupying the Kiriko because she has to heal the Doom. Like as I'm shooting at him, basically.
Right.
And I'm also fighting the Doom.
Right. Or if the Kiriko is getting shot at by like 30,000 people, you're also stopping the Doom from going back in to help her. Right.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And you're occupying the Doom in that regard too. So again, it's all going to just simplify back down to getting the easiest value that I can given the situation. What's the path of least resistance for me? Right?
Okay.
And this is going to be just that. And I'm going to commend you for it. I just need to make sure that you know why this is a good thing. Right?
Okay.
Good CZ force, and you get the kill. And now you can go for this. Why? Because there's nothing else left for you to go for. Right? So this is fun. Okay. Now, let me kind of look at this situation, right? Is this a good time to dive this Torbjorn?
I honestly I don't know, cause like my team is like kind of ready, but I also think he's just like way out of position.
Right. And like, yeah, he's way out of position and you can kind of kill him, right? Is your team here to shoot at people if they come and kill you? Like if this Brig comes and tries to fight you, if this Doomfist comes and tries to fight you, can your team shoot at them from here?
Honestly, yeah. I think
Maybe,
so.
maybe if the fight is not necessarily behind like these cover areas,
true,
sure.
true.
But yeah, maybe.
Okay, maybe not then.
Or maybe not. Right. Now you could argue whether or not your team is within their effective range to be able to do this, but I think that this is generally close enough. Right?
Okay.
So what I'm going to say though about your timing here is that you are going in at a time where your team has the ability to follow up. It's just going to take a second. So this is a little
Okay.
bit early. But given the situation, looking at this Torbjorn, can this be can this be a situation where this timing is good? Maybe, right? Problem though, ooh, that was close. That was close.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just something to watch out for. And you're going to be fighting at this fighting this Doomfist, and you're going to be fighting
Yeah.
this
And my team can't see.
right, and your team can't see from back here, but they can kind of see, kind of not. Now, here's the important concept that I kind of wanted to go over. Right. Here, which is kind of a general idea of, that's going to give you a better understanding of timing. Remember when we were back here and you kind of jumped onto the people that are on high ground, and my team just wasn't at bus yet, right?
Yeah.
The reason why this was bad is because my team wasn't yet in a position where they could follow up off of any value, right? Now, assuming that you jump up over here, and assuming that they do try and take the fight back here and behind this thing and behind this thing, is your team in the area with the ability to maybe shoot at things? Sure, but the thing is, if we kind of take the fight back behind this area, what's going to happen is my team isn't going to have the ability to walk forward in time enough to be able to change that sight line.
Yeah.
Right. So in the entire time that my team isn't able to walk forward, I'm taking a lot more damage than I need to be, or at least a lot more damage than I can take back from them. Now, what happens if instead of my team being back here behind this corner, they're back up here to this one, right?
Then it's way better.
Way better? Why is it way better?
Well, because they're just right there, and
Right.
like they can shoot the Torb or the Brig or the Doom.
Right, and they can shoot the Torb and the Brigand of Doom. But what happens when the Torb and the Brigand of Doom walk behind this? What's going to happen now?
They can walk up and look.
Right,
Shoot.
they can walk up and turn and shoot. They have the time to do that, and they can take more space essentially, right? So if these guys decide to give up the space that they control to kind of walk over here and try and shoot you, there's direct punishment for that from your teammates, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
But back over here, not as much, because the distance is farther. And so when we're talking about staging, when we're going to be talking about timing, which is going to be the case with Winston till the end of days, right? Every single Winston I'm going to talk about, from bronze to top -1, is going to essentially be talking about staging and timing. And the most important concept that you need to understand for those heroes is distance, right? Where am I? Where is my team? Am I too far? And how close is the enemy? That's going to be the big thing. How close am I to the enemy team compared to how close my team is to the enemy? That's just going to be the big deal right there, right? Now, again, your team did eventually get up here and punish with the Doom kill. Oh, not the Doom kill, my goodness, the Torb kill, right? Problem is that you lost a whole bunch of HP in your armor to doing so because you went in a bit too early. Right?
Yeah.
So going in a bit later probably would have been the better play in that scenario. Okay. Okay. Now, I just want to look at your cooldown situation. Yeah, your cooldown situation is not great, and your cast kind of just did that, right?
Yeah. If I'm not half HP.
Right. If you're not half HP, he doesn't do that. But also, more importantly, right, where did you kind of jump out to?
Just like my team.
Right. So that means that now that we come back here and you want to kind of go back into the fight, how much space do you have?
None. It's all one angle.
Right. So what if instead of jumping out to your team, hypothetically, what if you jumped here?
Maybe that would work. I would just feel scared with that little HP that we get jumped on.
Right. But you wouldn't have had this little HP had that been the circumstance, right? But let me we're just gonna experiment a little bit right here with this. What happens if you jump here? Are you in any immediate threat or any danger?
Probably not, because Doom used his cooldowns.
Doom uses gloves.
Reaper might have TP.
Reaper might have TP, but then what happens if the Reaper comes after me with his TP? What does your team walks up for free, right? So again, another situation where there's an immediate punish from, you know, the actual, you know, counterplay to your enemy. So counterplay from your enemy comes up and there's an immediate punishment for that. And why is staging back here, besides the whole existence of the off angle, why is staging back here or jumping out back here to this staging position going to be safe for you and going to allow you to kind of always get good positive value here?
Just because my team is putting pressure from somewhere else.
Right, yeah, there's the off angle aspect of it, but also if we kind of think about it, why is it that, you know, Reaper coming to you is going to be expensive for him? Why is that?
Is it that they're giving up space or the cooldown?
It's kind of about the space. It's kind of about the space, right? And it's kind of about the cooldown as well. There's going to be something that's going to connect both of those ideas, right? What's that kind of connecting idea? Why is this safe? What is safe about this?
That it's high ground?
Sure, that's a part of it, kind of, but these guys have the access to the high ground. Sure, I think you can get this. I have faith in you. You can get this, right? Okay, let's just break this down.
Is it just like cover? Or?
No, let's break this down. Let's break this down, right? If Reaper has to get to me, or wants to get to me, what does he have to do?
He has to use a cooldown.
He has to use TP. If Doomfist wants to get to me, what does he have to do?
He has to use his slam.
Probably. Right.
I don't know how to play Doom. But...
Yeah. Pretty much his slam or his punch or something like that. If Brig wants to get to me, what does she have to do?
She has to walk 10 miles.
Right. What about Torbjorn?
Same thing.
So what about this situation makes it so that these guys have to expend a whole lot of resources or time in order to get to me?
It's just like the position, like.
Right. What about the position?
Well, it's high ground.
What? Okay. All right. What about what's different than being here? What's the difference between being up there and being here?
Well, I'm like far away from them.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That was way simpler than I thought.
Yeah, way simple. It's always going to be really simple. Right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You're far away from them. Distance is what matters when it comes to staging. Distance.
Okay.
Right? It doesn't matter about what angle you're on. To be real, realistically speaking, you would like to be on a deeper angle, but even if you're not in LOS of your teammates, it's still going to be expensive for the enemy to try and push you out solely because of the distance, right? Okay. Now, if we're talking about the situation, like if I jumped out back here and my team was still back here behind cart, right? And I was about the same distance away from the enemy team back here than my team was, then that means that if these guys are trying to decide who to go for, whether it's my team or me, how easy is that decision?
It's tough.
Right. Now, if the enemy team was right back here and I was over there, how easy is the decision now?
I mean, they just go for my team.
They just go for your team, right? So and then they just ignore you. What if I kind of don't jump out all the way over here and I just jumped over here? Then how easy is that decision now?
They have to think about it again.
Well, no. Do they really have to think about it if I'm right here?
Oh, they're there and.
Yeah.
No, then they just keep hitting me.
Then they just go for you, right? Yep. So keeping the key idea, if you want to take a position, if you want to take a certain space and you want to be safe while doing it, or set up an angle and be safe while doing it, right? The key idea is to keep the same average effective distance from the enemy team as your teammates are, right? And so, and then that way, when you're staging like that, keeping that distance, anytime, like all the distance that they would have to cover to go over here can now be covered by you coming back in, right?
Okay.
And all of the distance that they would have to go over here can be covered by your team walking up.
Okay.
So it's
Okay, that's a. I haven't thought about it that way before.
right. It's a very, very simple concept, but that is the bare fundamentals of staging, right? So if you hear
Yeah.
people throw around the term staging all the time, being like, oh yeah, staging, it's complicated. Just think about distance, right? Angle is
Okay.
important too, which we kind of did talk about that, right? Where it's like, okay, now they have to choose, they have to make a decision. That's a big part of that. But being over here is safer than being over here because of the distance, right? But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that being out here is safer because it's what happens to my team,
Yeah. We just
right?
lose.
Exactly. And that's the key component of staging. All
Okay.
right. Now, the reason why this hurts is because these guys just walk up, and instead, if you were kind of over here, you would you just kind of be able to just like drop down here, maybe like start zapping at people, and then jump back out again, and then pull resources back away from your team, so this choke is easier to come out from. But because you guys have no off angle situation, this Doomfist doesn't really have to make any kind of decisions or choices as to what he's going to do here, right? If you ever see situations where one Doomfist is absolutely destroying your entire team, a lot of the time it's going to be because of a lack of off angles, right?
Okay.
Because what's going to happen here is he's going to hit one person, and if he has empowered punch, right, then three people are going to get slammed into a wall.
Okay. That
Right.
makes sense.
Literally just take an off angle, and that just doesn't happen. Or if
Okay.
it does happen, then he isn't able to punch you off of his brig,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Decisions. It's all about decisions and making them harder for the enemy and easier for yourself. Okay. Nice. Right? Now, let me ask you, why was this primal so successful?
Look at it again. Well, they're low, so that made things a lot easier.
Well, they're
Um,
low, right? And not only are they low, how many people are there?
3.
Right. How many people do you have?
Uh, 3 also,
Oh,
and then me.
4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Right? So not only they've used a whole bunch of cooldowns. This is a 4v3 situation. Even if you don't have the off angles here, right? Not only that, but you also are playing to your effective range as well. So this is just a winning fight. And that's what makes this primal so easily. Now, there could be an argument that you wouldn't necessarily have had to pop the primal if you had better circumstances, which sure, that could be an argument too. But I don't really mind this. I don't mind popping
Okay.
primal to get out of this choke or out of this corner, right? Because
Okay.
I mean, it's Numbani. The second that you clear this one corner, you've pretty much full capped second point at that point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But no, this is good. But the reason why you were able to do this so well is because we leveraged that numbers advantage thing, right? So
Okay.
we're going to
Yeah.
be thinking about that more often as well, right? Really good primal mechanics, actually. Hold up, I do want to kind of look at this, right?
This was one of my better primals.
Right.
To be fair.
Right, but it's not only that, it's also the sidestep for the sleep dart, the jumping to her side so that you can boop her away from the rest of her team into the wall, and then confirming the kill. That is really, really disciplined primal mechanics. It might not have looked like you were prime Gushui, but at the same time, like it's like that was clean. That was very, very
Okay.
clean.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you deserve accolades for that one, 100%. Right? And then the bubble, just kind of chill here and live. Right? Okay. Here's my question. Where do you think the fight's going to be?
Probably at the corner, like
Like over
at the
here?
back of the bus. Yeah.
Right, yeah, at the back of the bus. Right. Now, is your current staging position decent for that?
It depends if they clear high ground, or if like someone goes up high ground. Because it's really good. I just get free access to backline, but it's not great if someone peeks me.
Right. And why would someone going up to high ground be bad for you?
Because they're like out of my range. I'm gonna have to jump out
Right.
or jump in and bubble.
Right. Out of your range, and what's that key thing?
Oh, the other team is closer to me than
They're closer to
my
you.
team.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they can do is if they are in a situation where they don't like the fact that everyone's really far away, the enemy team can just commit to being really, really close to one person so that they can clear them out. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to. So if these guys decide to kind of come up here and try and clear your staging, especially if you don't have that effective range, then you're going to have to leave, and that's going to make this kind of staging position a lot more compromised. Right.
If I
But
went back and just played the like corner on high ground, like by the stairs, kind of, would that be better?
right over like over here or something.
Yeah, yeah, like here.
Maybe potentially. It would make it a lot less easy for them to clear you out from like doing something like this, right? I think that's definitely something that you could consider. I don't necessarily think that this is bad though, right? Now let me ask you this: if nobody comes up to high ground, is staging right here okay?
It is, but I have to let them walk forward.
Right. But like even if like they stay here and your team doesn't peek and he doesn't shoot, right? And you're up here, would this still be good staging? Would this still be decent staging?
I think so, yeah.
Right. But then it was like, wait, hold on, Andromeda, right? I'm close to the enemy team. Like the enemy team, the distance from me to the enemy team is extremely minimal here. But then but the thing is, if you think about it, like why is the distance, especially, well, maybe not so much for the Doomfist, but if we're talking about the rest of the enemy team's heroes, right?
Yeah.
Then why is something like this and being positioned in a place like this, right, still good staging even if the distance is close?
Well, they just can't get up there.
They can't get up there because it's high ground, right? So this is effectively speaking, this is artificial distance. What you're doing is you're making it so because the distance between the brig and you is not this distance here. The distance between the brig and you is brig going all the way around here, up here, through here, around here, going over here, and then now getting to you, right?
Yeah, and the fight's already happened.
Right, but then for you, in terms of where you can go, and the distance between you and anything else is literally just dropping, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're shooting, like if you had a gun. Right, like hypothetically speaking, obviously, because you're Winston, so you have a feather duster. But I mean, like, if you had a gun, right, if this was potentially your effective range, right, then you can kind of shoot at the enemy for free, whereas their distance in order to get to you to clear you out would be really high. This is why high ground is so powerful, right? This is why high ground is so important, because it's essentially like an infinite distance glitch, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you really, really strong staging, without the enemy, without the kind of the drawbacks of being so far away that you're not in the fight, being able to do anything, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's important thing to consider, and that's why high ground is important, and that's why high ground is good. Now, if we look at this, timing.
Yeah. Way too soon.
Way too soon, right? Now, why did you go over here?
Because Reaper was low.
Right. Okay.
Oh, you mean high ground, or why did I jump on the Reaper?
No, why did you jump on the Reaper? I was thinking that you were going to say it's because your Tracer was, in
Well,
danger.
also that. I don't think I would have jumped on him if he was it was, like, just him.
Right.
But, yeah, like, he was low and the Tracer was fighting.
Right. But then that's kind of, that's even more dangerous, right? Because the thing is, like, you're seeing someone who's low HP, and then your brain's going, low HP means I can dive. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Right? Like, that's essentially that kind of concept. I don't know if you've heard this before, but it's kind of a concept that is called cheating, generally speaking, right? Where it's like when you dive and jump kind of in for something, or you kind of do something that's not fundamentally sound, but it has the potential of giving you kind of something that you would want. Like when you were diving on the Torbjorn earlier, it was probably a really bad idea to jump in when you did, but you wouldn't have secured the kill otherwise, right? Here, if you jump for this Reaper because he's low and you think that you can kill him, that's like cheating. Sometimes cheating is going to give you a lot of value, where it's like, okay, maybe I can actually get something that's meaningful here. But there's a reason why it's called cheating, right? It's because, my goodness, my voice. This jump over here is really, really bad. Your team is out here, cannot help you. Cannot help you. These guys, 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Heck, if this Ana makes a little bit more of a rotation, honestly even 5 at this point.
Yeah.
All right. This is not good. It is not
Okay.
good. You need to be able to control yourself from being able to jump into things until you find your cues, right? What's
Okay.
your cue? My
My
team
team.
distance, right? And me jumping into a space that actually I can actually fight people in, right? If
Okay.
there's an Ana right here out in the middle of the open, am I going to jump onto that? No, because there's no cover anywhere here. So once my bubble breaks, I am screwed,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So distance from your team, space that you can fight in. Those are your triggers. If you
Okay.
don't have those triggers, do not go.
Okay.
No bubble, no armor. No angle, no staging. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I think that your team kind of does things, right?
Yeah, but they're just carrying me.
Right. But that's less of, well, it's not even just about they're just carrying you. It's also because these enemies made stupid decisions, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like this Reaper decided to come and hard peek this BAP on 1 HP, right?
Yeah.
And this Tracer just like hit a pulse bomb because this Brig wasn't paying attention, to be honest. But I mean, like, whatever, that happens, right? Now, is that cheating from the Tracer? Yes, but is there a reason, for her to do that? Was there kind of something that justified that cheating? Yes, there was. Like, she had the opportunity for a pick there. You didn't have anything. You didn't have anything to go off of. So that was probably that was going to be really poor from you, right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but these kind of two people being buffoons is not realistically going to be the reason why. That's not a reason that we want for winning games. Right.
Yeah, and like maybe the Tracer hits that pulse anyway.
Right. But also, this Tracer was being an idiot as well by going in so soon. She should not have been there. So, again, sometimes your team is just really good. Sometimes the enemies are really bad. It does not mean that what you're doing is the right thing, right? Sometimes your team is really bad. Sometimes the enemy is really good. It does not mean that what you're doing is the wrong thing, right?
Okay.
It just happens. Okay, your Tracer is throwing right now, but whatever.
Really? Okay.
Right, look, well, again, because it's just like, you're not here, and she's going to going in, blinking out into an open space, trying to, like, gets fights on people. The second that these people hit shots, then it's over for her. But again, she's...
Was jumping and bubbling that Torb there okay?
Right, okay, well, let's look at it. Where's your team?
Pretty far back, honestly.
Pretty far back, right?
Yeah.
But is your team doing something?
Yeah.
This is something. This is a something.
Okay, so that helps with the Doom.
Right. It's not about with the Doom. It's more about pushing this thing, right? Your team is kind of going to be pushing this thing, and then your team is also going to be coming back. Not only that, you're pretty much turning this into a 1v1 situation. Is this the exact instance that you probably should be jumping into here? Not necessarily, but this isn't going to be something that's going to be highly problematic for you, right?
Okay.
Plus your Tracer's here, and if things break, then you just come back here, and then everything's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Fighting this Reaper, is this going to be good for you or bad for you?
Not good.
Why would you say that?
Honestly, probably because it's just early. Like, there's no real benefit to me doing it. Like, my team's just waiting for the payload to get the checkpoint.
Okay, so then, but let me now ask you this: where is Reaper's team?
Really far back.
Where is he?
Far up.
So, isn't this the same thing as the mistake that you were making back over there?
So I should fight him.
You should. And then again, what happens when the Reaper leaves this space? What do you get? A really nice staging position.
I get really good staging.
Right. So not only are you forcing the Reaper out of when he's in a situation where his team cannot help him, right? You're also taking a 1v1 right now, which is about to be a 2v1, to win a space that is going to be extremely powerful for you and your team, right?
Okay.
If you mechanically execute on this, then you win a large part of a large space that's going to be beneficial to you. And if you don't mechanically execute on this and you back off, then he wins a bunch of space. But this is going to be better for you than it is for him because your team is right here, right?
Okay.
And his isn't.
Yeah.
This is essentially a situation that's called a critical duel. I normally talk about this when I'm talking about with like DPS players, like especially tracers. But this is kind of the caveat to staging. If the enemy player is like far away from his team and you're far away from your team hypothetically, then it doesn't really matter about people being far away from their team or not, because you're just going to hit a 1v1. It just turns into a 1v1 scenario, right?
Okay.
This is just even better for you right now because your team is already here. And this base is really, really good for you, right? So use your effective range, use your bubble, push this guy out. Because again, if you don't, and you just kind of just walk back here, what's he going to do to your team?
He's going to drop on backline.
Right. Okay.
And he does.
Right. Now, this is, let me, before we look at that, I kind of want to just look at this real quick. Right. Like your tracer kind of just inted. But also, what are you doing as well? Right. Where are you? How close are you?
I'm in the middle of their team.
In the middle of their team. Doesn't matter if the tracer's there. You're where's the majority of your team?
On cart.
Right. So this is way too far in, way too deep in. So what staging would be better for you? What gives you that distance?
Well, first of all, if I just fought the Reaper.
Right. If you cleared the Reaper, then this would be better for you. Give me another one though. It's hard because I can't really manipulate the camera around here.
Yeah, I could go to the room on the left, maybe.
Okay, so let's say you go over here. Right? Is this too close?
By the time I get there, probably not.
Well, yeah, but imagine if you're here right now. Is this too close?
A little bit. I would have to play safe, I think.
Right. It's a little bit close. So then fix this. How do you fix this? Right.
Just, play that corner.
Right. And this is the skill check. This is the interesting skill check. This is the difference between high-ranking monkeys and low-ranking monkeys when it comes to their staging, right? Low-ranking monkeys would stage right here and be like, oh, but then now I can just like kind of walk straight into the enemy team, but then you're too close. Your staging is really easy to clear, right? If I step back here, then my staging becomes a lot harder to clear. Yeah. Them kind of forced to run into me becomes a lot more of a commitment, and if they do, then I have easy out, an easy out back, in kiting space. And the more they push me is the more space my team gets on this side of the map.
Okay.
Right? Again, all about distance. All about distance. Okay. Not great. Not great. And what's going on here? Right? Now, Reaper, I don't know how the Torbjorn got into your backline, but Reaper is right here, and your backline cannot develop forward at all because Reaper is threatening all of this space.
Yeah.
Right? So, and like, look at it. One person is stopping 3 people from walking solely because he's just playing in a really good staging position, and also because of the fact that, like, he has high ground. Yeah. Right?
And he's not even really doing damage.
Like, he's not. He's firing warning shots at them, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, he's pretty much like watering the flowers right now. Like, that's what he's doing. He's playing the human sprinkler, just like right? That's like, but just doing that because of the fact that he has good positioning is able to just keep your entire team back because they don't want to walk up and then have the Reaper drop in their backline. Imagine if this is the enemy team and you were here, right? Imagine if this was you.
Yeah,
this is how you use staging effectively. This is how you use staging really, really strongly against an enemy team. Because they don't want to commit, because the second that they do, they're going to force themselves in a situation that they cannot turn back from. Right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of cooked.
Yeah.
Okay, let's kind of speed through this a little bit. Is this Reaper killable?
Maybe, maybe not, but I think I can force him out.
You can. If you were going to try to force him out, would you kind of just jump over here out through main?
don't think so.
No, probably not. Right, because you're in LOS of the rest of his team. You're in this thing's effective range. You're in this thing's effective range. So that's not great.
Okay.
Right? So if you were going to clear this Reaper out, again, you would have to do this. Right?
Okay.
Now, how long is that going to take you?
A while.
A while.
It's kind of sketchy.
Right, and it's kind of sketchy. But what happens if you don't? Right?
Yeah, he jumps on my team.
Right. So again,
Okay.
right. This is another thing when it comes to this Reaper. It's just he's just stalling right now. He's really just stalling
Okay.
you kind of are in a situation where you have to try and force him out. If he decides to try and take this fight at all, then he loses. Right, so he's going to have to walk back out, but it again means that it's going to take some even more time for you to get the staging that you want there. The problem is that if the Reaper really wanted to be here, like if he wanted to kind of be in this position up here, right, he shouldn't be starting here. Just like I told you kind of, about this place where you don't want to start here if you really want this. You want to start over here. Where could this Reaper potentially be?
I mean, I guess he could just tuck and not peek, right? Like, or he could be on the doorway, like on the right, I guess.
Right, okay, like he could be potentially here, and people are probably going to be coming up through the side, so it's going to be annoying, right? Honestly, when it comes to the Reaper, he probably could just sit right here.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Right, because then he has his team there. He can just walk up a little bit, start shooting at people in the back. Or if he doesn't have that opportunity, he can TP from here. And then once he TPs from here up to here and starts fighting somebody, when it's time, right, then he can just wraith back into here and then just escape back into your team spawn, right?
Okay.
Like, that's how that works. It's about the distance, right? He's too close right now, and he's starting way too close, so he's too easy to clear out. You need to kind of do that, and you did it this way. The enemy team didn't punish you for it. Probably should have. And this works. And why does this work? Well, I'm 1v1ing a Reaper and a Doomfist in front of my face. My bubble's about to my bubble might break anytime soon. Well, why does this work?
My team's there.
Your team's there. All right. Okay. Is that jump good?
It's better than the first time I did it. Yeah, I think it's good because my team's doing stuff.
Right. I want more confident answer next time. Okay?
Okay.
If you think that this is right, it's right. If you're confidently wrong, it's funny, and it'll be funny in the video, so I like that.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. But this is good. This is good. And also, because of the fact that you kind of cleared him out, it meant that he had to go really, really early on this, so this is easier for your team to deal with, right? Now, you're getting hit with a rallied Brig. Your Tracer's here. Where's her team? All the way out here. Is this Brig way too freaking close?
Yeah.
Right? So what do? Nothing, really. You just wait and watch her die.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay? Is this Doomfist easy to clear out?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
I think so. Like, I have all my team behind. Like, we're kind of equal here. Like he might not be easy to clear out, but he can't clear me out either, really.
Right, he can't clear you out, but this Doomfist isn't going to be easier to clear out either. Right? So you guys are going to be trying to, like, kind of, like, 1v1 it, poke at each other here, but you can't really go further than that. You can't go further into his backline because of his team. He can't go further into your backline because of your team. Right? Good staging versus good staging. It makes a situation where it's 50-50. Right? So if you want to fight enemy teams with good staging, you just get good staging yourself, and then they won't be able to kind of hard push you. Right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Iffy. You decide to come back here, so does he.
Yeah.
Is this
Should
good
I push
staging?
it out?
I mean, you could have.
Okay.
But what would you have had to wait for if you were going to push even deeper this way?
My team to get further up.
Where would your team need to be?
So honestly, no, it wouldn't have been good because they would have had to be like all the way around the corner.
All the way around the corner, right?
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with you waiting until your team gets around the corner at least gets decently closer. But I also really like this. Is this good staging?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect, right? You know, trying to put on the Homelander meme. Imagine that. Right? Oh my gosh. Do I even need to say anything? Now, you did kind of just get baited. Like, I'm going to be real. You did kind of just get baited. But this Brig just kind of screwed herself to oblivion.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a nano force. The problem is, though, that you kind of saw the Brig was low HP and then did not respect Bastion toward you. Right?
I don't think I even knew they had a Bastion.
Well, does it matter? Does it matter if it's a Bastion?
No.
No, right? It doesn't matter if this is a Bastion. This could literally have been anything. It could have been, you know, an Ashe, a Cass. It could have been a Genji for all I care. A Tracer, a Mercy.
So is that just me? Like, should I still go for that jump and just like run away sooner, or?
Well, okay.
Because I do feel like she's out of position there.
Right. She's out of position here. Yes, 100%. So then how would you fight her in a way where you're fighting the out of position target while still being far away from their team that's walking up?
Right clicker.
Right. Like, well, yeah, but you can just right click her. I think that might also kind of work. But this is so juicy. I mean, okay, this might unintentionally be extremely smart from this break, right? But
I mean, it baited me. So.
It did bait you really, really hard, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if you jump back here and pressure her back, you're now completely out of the line of sight of the rest of her team.
Okay.
Right? They pop the nano, they pop the Doomfist ult. So is it okay for you to kite space at that point? Probably, right? They pop 2 ults for it, so it's fine. Then you will come out, off the back of that with your ults, and then you guys win video games. Problem is that you just got way too into like, oh wait, Brig's walking into my team, I need to go, and then you get really hard baited because you aren't thinking about what's happening back here.
Yeah.
Oh. Again, this is kind of another one of those situations where this is a really rough choke. It's a really rough choke.
Yeah, I think I swap off after this fight actually, which I don't know.
Right, but how would you kind of approach breaking this though?
I mean, I just run it down main, but I think I should go high ground.
Right.
And try to drop on them.
Right. If you go high ground and try and drop here, it's going to pull resources this way. If you're the same distance as your team, right?
Yeah.
Maybe push up a little bit closer to kind of turn attention towards you this way, so that your team can walk up a little bit and get a little bit of a deeper trade. Then maybe do a soft jump down here, right? Pull a whole bunch of aggro, and then jump out this way, right? Chill out here, and then jump back in when your team's ready.
Yeah.
Right. And then that could be something that could be something that you could try and do. Or, which this isn't necessarily going to be the greatest thing for you, but it's also another option, is you could probably just come back here and just try and pull attention this way. Now, would this be rough because you're playing into a Roadhog and a Bastion? Yes, 100%. Right? Yeah. But at the same time, if you execute this well enough, you have walls. And no matter how good a Roadhog and a Bastion are against you, they can't shoot through walls. Right? I can't say anything about Wu Yang, but at least Roadhog and Bastion cannot shoot through walls.
Okay,
so you can at least be a little bit aggressive here, pulling attention back this way, making it easier for your team to kind of walk up and take space and shoot things here, right? Whatever, right? Is your hero designed to do this? Not particularly, but is it something that you're probably going to have to do in this situation? Maybe, right? This also could be a maybe too, but this is also a little bit dangerous and risky because it's going to be harder to kind of stage close without your team being really close as well. Yeah. Now, the benefit of this is that it does give you high ground, right?
Yeah.
So, again, options. You got to use your brain. You got to think. The last thing you should be doing is walking through main, but I know for a fact that's what you're going to do because that's what every other Winston in this rank is going to do. Right? Okay. Every other Winston into Masters is going to do.
Okay.
And hopefully not beyond that, but you never know with my luck.
Fair enough.
Oof. Now I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. but it doesn't feel great. It
No, it's
really
not
does
good.
not feel great. Now, you do get the picks. You do trade for the ults. But here's the problem, though, is that as you did that, right, your plan is to jump out through main, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, again, you probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to jump out this way, but at the same time, you know, it's just a little rough. It's just going to be a little rough for you. Right. Right. They pop a bunch of ultimates, though, so that's kind of decent-ish.
Yeah, maybe I do one.
But this feels a little awkward. But here's the thing, though, is that your team is now through main. So if you go up here and you stage up here, then it means that your dives are actually you're going to get better staging. You're going to be able to stage back here. Your dives are actually going to be able to do things, right? Okay. Another thing that you could do is you could also bait people to push you out this way, right? By playing like you're too close to the enemy team, but far enough away that your team is going to be able to kind of walk up and try and do things, right?
Yeah.
And then that way, when you bait this way, people are going to come around to try and shoot at you, try and fight you, and then your team's going to walk up, and then you're going to be able to jump straight back through and then take a trade this way, right? And then maybe go through here and then start doing things over this way, right? The world's your oyster. You have the opportunity to do a whole bunch of things. It's just that you should just, the absolute worst thing that you could be doing is just no-braining and autopiloting here.
Okay.
Like this. No, Winston, the best defense is not a good barrier. Because this was not a good barrier. Yes. That is what he said. Okay? Timing.
Yeah. I should have... I think I was trying to jump high ground, and then for whatever reason felt like I should jump in. At least just for the little, like, bounce off of high ground.
Right.
And it would have been better if I just chilled up there.
Right. I think you saw your team here, and then you were like, oh, wait, I'm going to go in and do things because my team is still fighting. But again, you need to look at your team. You need to know where your team is.
Yeah.
100% every time. Right? Right. Because that's just... Yeah. Sigma. Now, I might say something a little bit controversial. But... between the concepts that we talked about, the way that you're going to play Monkey here and the way that you're going to play Sigma here are going to be practically exactly the same.
Okay.
It's just that Sigma has a little bit better tools to play in different spaces and has a lack of mobility that can be utilized that Monkey Monkey does not have that lack.
Yeah, like
right?
the flanking all the way behind them to bait them away from choke isn't necessarily going to be an option.
It's not always going to be. Now it's going to be I just realized, wait, what? I did not see that before. Anyway, but it's going to be sorry for my ADHD. It's going to be harder for you to do something like that, but you still can. It's still possible. It's just not going to be probable, right? Oh, love this skin.
Should I have gone up high ground there? I feel like I got kind of impatient.
Okay. Now let me ask you this.
To clear the hog.
Right. Now when it maybe, but like if we look at this, all right, we go here. You just popped your shield, right? What's shield for Sigma?
It blocks cooldowns.
Right. Right. What does shield do for Sigma?
I mean, it blocks damage.
Blocks damage, but most importantly, what does it allow him to do?
Take space.
Right. Or take space or deal damage for free. It's his cooldown that allows him to kind of deal damage without taking damage, right? So how important is your shield on Sigma?
A lot.
Right. Is it, probably going to be... Isn't it kind of serve the same exact feature as, like, your bubble?
Yeah, it's very similar.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. Where's your team?
Not close.
So should you be popping shield right now?
No.
And that's Sigma Micro. Give a round of applause, everybody.
Okay.
Right?
I never thought about it like Winston's bubble. That's helpful.
Right. But it's all of these cooldowns, right?
Hmm.
Again, you're trying to get positive trades here, but you're not going to be getting a positive trade if you're throwing in, flashing your shield in 1v5. Now, if it's a 1v1 scenario, sure, or if it's 1v like 2 or something like that, and you have a confidence that you can take it because you're at a space that's going to be more comfortable for you than they're going to be comfortable at the enemy team, then sure, but you're not going to try and waste your cooldowns to do stuff when your team isn't there to help you if you're going into 5 people. That's just not going to be how
Do
you're going
I
to win
just need to
Sigma.
like 180 and look back more? Or is it-
Congratulations, you are now better than champ players. Oh my goodness. Right? Yeah, no. But yes, that is something that you need to
Okay.
do. That is a habit that you need to get into when you're doing anything, because again, you need to have this information. Sometimes you're going to be able to see like, oh, okay, if I really think about it, then I could just, if I hear a Zenyatta charging 5 orbs behind me and I see a whole bunch of orbs whizzing past my face, do I need to really look behind me and see exactly where the Zenyatta is? No, right? I don't think that that the boogeyman came from underneath this car and took him in the middle of the night. I'm pretty sure he's still going to be there when I check next time, right? But for a lot of other heroes, you might need to think, you might need to check, right? In a lot of different situations.
Makes sense.
Right? Now, is your team here, to a degree, kind of not, right? Like your BAP your BAP hasn't walked yet. Your Kiriko is here. Your Kiriko is here and doing things. Your BAP hasn't really walked yet, but that's kind of more on him, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that when did this really start? Right?
I'm already like through
Right.
the choke.
Like you're kind of already here. Now, being far up isn't always going to be that immediate of an issue, given the circumstances and given the mobility of the enemy team's composition, right? That being said, the closer the timing is towards when your team actually walks out, is the more efficient you're going to be.
Okay.
Right? But that's really, really good damage into backline, and I think that you did just forced on a nade at the very least, right? If we look at Honest cooldowns, both of Honest cooldowns are down, right? Torb's overload is down, right? If we look at Brig, she used Rally, she used Shield Bash and whatnot already. But, Hog just doesn't have Hook. Bastion doesn't have any of his cooldowns. So right now, you forced a lot of value off of these cooldowns, and you have Kitsune value. So this is good. Could it have been better? Maybe. Because instead of losing just cooldowns, they could have maybe died, right? Or at least had some form of threat. I don't like this. I don't like this, though.
Yeah, I should have... Yeah, now I'm just on main.
Right. You're exactly. Well, technically we're on main here, but this is an angle, right?
Yeah.
And also your Echo is having fun, so you definitely need to be kind of doing things. And also, just another added bonus is that if you're swinging here on this side, if this Hog wants to come and close the distance on you, he needs to be in your team's LOS. Right now, he doesn't need to be in your team's LOS. So there's just
and there's like a window there and everything.
Okay. I don't mind the connect grasp there. There was a reason as to why you popped it, so that's fine. Now, if we look, right? Okay. Now, here's the fun part about Sigma, right? Which is kind of similar to what we were talking about back over here when it came to the placement of your bubble over here, that the bubble placement sucked, right?
Yeah.
Sigma has a shield that he can place pretty much anywhere he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Is this timing of this shield good right now?
No.
Why would you say no? Does it block damage?
No one's shooting at me.
Well,
and I'm going to want to walk on this Ana.
Right. The Torb's here.
Seconds.
The Torb's here. Right,
Okay.
and he was shooting. So the timing's okay. Does it allow you to walk onto this Ana, though? No. Where should the shield have been?
Like, at the corner or close, like further up.
Right. Like at the corner. If you put the shield up here at the corner, then you can walk on the Ana, and it makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
You drop the shield, and then you walk and swing the corner. You see how that kind of just feels backwards?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a really freaking good shield right now?
Yeah.
100%. Now you stop. Pull the shield back, please. Pull the. Okay. Right? That's the only
Yeah.
part. That's the problem, right? Where it's just like, okay, you hit the block that you needed to hit. You need to pull the shield back, but I'm not going to bully you for that because the shield placement was really good. Nice rock. Danger on the flux. I don't. Okay, have you seen my Sigma Reinhardt video that I had out previously?
I don't think so. Or
Okay.
was that the one on Junkertown?
Yes, that was the one on Junkertown.
I don't know. I watched some of that one actually, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I watched all of it.
Right. One of the this was later on in the Sigma part of the gameplay, right? One of the important things about understanding Sigma, not even just Sigma in general, but tanks in general, is understanding what space matters, right? When we are investing cooldowns, when we're investing any form of resource, we need to be investing it at a distance, again, that distance is coming back, where the enemy team is going to be taking some form of punishment for kiting out of our value, right? So if we are
Okay.
close, it means that if the enemy team walks back, we get immediate value off of that, right, in terms of the
Yeah.
space. We are not close enough for that to happen, so we don't want to be throwing out big cooldowns. Instead, the way that we could take advantage of this is by kind of just taking even more space. Like you can rotate through here and set up an angle
Yeah.
this way. This would be perfect, right? Problem is that you see two people, you have your ultimate, you think, oh, I can make this a lot easier for myself, which is true. They're just not in the distance for you to be able to use this ultimate right now. So
Okay.
right now, you pop it in a pretty good spot, they dodge it, and then it gets nothing. Even if you
Yeah.
popped it over here where you would hit it, it still probably wouldn't be that great because, again, you know,
There's no follow up.
it's less about just no follow-up. It's more just about, like, you know, like, we don't need to do this. We could wait until we can get a better option, a better opportunity.
Okay.
Right? Right. Okay. Right. Now, if we talk about shield placement, do you think this is a good shield?
I think here really no one's shooting at me, and I'm about to get peeked from spawn.
Right.
So no.
No. And even if the Brig was here, then it still wouldn't be that great of a shield because Brig doesn't have a freaking gun. Right?
This is true.
Right. Right. 100% true. So, first of all, mistake number one, you're not positioning anywhere near corners, right? You were really disciplined on that with Winston, not so disciplined on that with Sigma right now. So you're kind of
Okay.
walking out in the open. Second of all, shield placement, not that great, right?
Okay.
And then third of all, like, you need to time the shield a lot better. Where
Okay.
like now is when you need the shield, because now is when you're stopping your team from getting hit. You're stopping the BAP from having to waste his regen burst here, right? Because if we look at
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens, that's damage on Cass. Cass has to back off. That's BAP having to use his regen burst because of the fact that he's getting pelted, right? So now your team is down some cooldowns, some key cooldowns, because the shield wasn't up when it needed to be. Now, that shield made sense. That rock made sense. Right? That makes sense. Everything makes sense. The problem is that you're just not doing anything from an off angle. So, in order to...
Okay.
Right? So, if this hog over here wanted to avoid your damage or wanted to push you off of the cart, he could just look down one direction and then move to one direction, right? And then that's completely everyone else done. If you were over here and you could have been shooting at this hog, you could have been doing things, you could have gone up here and then started shooting at Baptiste and then shot at people down here, right?
Yeah.
Taking angles is not exclusive only to dive tanks.
That makes sense.
All right. I realize that this is probably going to be another very long session, unfortunately.
Oh, I mean, I appreciate it as long as you don't mind me taking.
No,
too
no,
much
no,
of
no,
your
no, no,
time.
no, no, no. I take
No,
all
I'm-
of my time. Don't worry about it. I did not know that could break. No, it could not break. That was a visual glitch. Wow, that is interesting.
I saw that too.
Huh. That is interesting as I don't know what. All right. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to look at this. Where's the enemy team? Where are they? Getting good information. Ashman. Right? Soldier Man. Okay, what do you think? I'm not going to say anything. What do you think?
I think it's too soon. If the ball goes in and slams, maybe it's okay, but I didn't know that.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Works. Okay. Is this bubble okay?
Ah, yeah.
Okay. All right. First of all, okay, oh, you're coming close to bubble, right? Is this a good jump positioning right now?
Um,
Or not
yeah, or it's not good for staging. It's bad
not
staging.
not good for staging, right?
Hmm.
But like you kind of had to jump on something. It was the first easiest thing and closest thing for you to see, so it made sense. But what that means
Yeah.
is that you're kind of just saying, all right, now I'm just kind of I lost two. I'm giving up on staging for this point and continuing fighting over here, right? Better jump maybe could have been jumping for the Ash because then at
Okay.
that point, right, you could just let your team take the 2v2 and then continue
Yeah.
holding the space and while also being able to push these guys back. But again, it's still going to be iffy because you're already down two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, if I kind of rewind this, right, was there a better opportunity to start helping your team out while you were back over here?
I could have just dropped
Right, or
instead of peeling.
just dropped, or you just like started shooting at this thing, and then your echo probably wouldn't have been baited to coming up here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now honest cooldowns are out, BAP's cooldowns are out. You see, it's the same thing as before,
Hmm.
same thing as before, right?
Okay.
The fun thing though is the fact that this isn't going to be a direct consequence or a direct pain for you, right? So your
Yeah.
mistakes aren't going to be showing up on your screen. So it's an extremely
Is
important thing.
is it more that because like I feel like the nade and the lamp are getting forced there anyway? Is it more that I would have forced cooldowns in their back line? Because like the Ana's like she's just got a ball on top of her.
Right, but you also have bubble. So
Okay.
bubble would probably stop a lot of that from happening. If the nade and the lamp needed to get forced there, like if there was a significant enough presence here for that to happen, for that to need to happen, then you would have also been in position to get an equally strong, powerful trade into their backline, which you were not there
Okay.
for, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I was just trying to say, warning you that the reason that there's going to be a big time where you're going to kind of like have do make a lot of mistakes, not know that you're making mistakes because the consequences of your mistakes happen to other people, not you.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So VOD reviewing, very important. Okay, fight that.
Oh, this was so unfortunate.
That's crazy though, the fact that your team got those kills. So yeah, maybe you could have saved this by not jumping the soldier there.
Bad bubble.
What part of this did you say was unfortunate?
Oh, just like I caught in a reload with the Mercy resing in front of me.
Yeah, okay, sure. But the Mercy was probably going to get the res off either way. Winston doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Right. Now, what the problem is, though, is the bubble on the corner, right, and then jumping back to point. If you're going to
Yeah,
commit to
yeah.
the bubble here, probably just sit and chill and start spamming at point, right? If you're
Okay.
going to jump back to point, then jump back to point with the bubble. But I don't think that jumping back to point with the bubble is probably going to be your best bet either, because at that point, you're just like your team's not even
Yeah.
ready to touch point, right?
Okay.
But here you're just killing yourself. Okay? Okay, what do you think of your staging?
Uh, I think it's good. I don't know. Like I probably want to walk up on the like left side a little bit more, but there's kind of not a great spot, and I anticipate the fight to happen at the corner here.
Right. So I mean, in terms of, but if you're up here, how close are you? How easy are you to force out?
Well, like if I wait a second,
Right.
to where my team's closer.
To where your team is closer, if they are going to get closer. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not. Because again, is this would this if the fight happens up here at this corner, right?
Hmm.
Would this be a good distance for an Ashe, a Bap, and a Sojourn to be? Or not a
Yeah,
Sojourn,
it
an
would be
Ana to
really
be.
good.
Right? Yeah, it'd be really, really good for them.
Yeah.
So why would you force them to kind of walk up to a distance that they're less comfortable for, just so that you can get more greedier staging, right?
Okay, so maybe just hang out here.
Right. It's again, it's always going to be about the team and what the team wants as a whole, right? So this is fine, and this is good. Now the ball tries to go and clear you out, but then this is okay. And this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. Now, that being said, your team isn't necessarily just there yet because they just were dealing with ball, but you're kind of allowing this to not necessarily go into them walking up hard out here, and you're
I
kind of stopping them out here, right?
I
Okay,
feel
go
like
on.
I struggle with that a lot with balls.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, I don't know if it's like another Winston or like a Doom, like you want to trade backlines there, kind of.
Right.
But like he's not hard engaging.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Okay, so but again, it's going to be the similar thing that I was going to talk about here. The problem, though, with this and with especially with your bubble placement and where you're positioning off of this is that this is really good for stopping them from walking up and taking space in the short term, right? But this is also you getting really, really freaking close. So once this
Yeah.
bubble breaks, because it will break, what's your next step?
I have to jump all the way back.
Before
Or I mean, I
you
could
jump,
jump on top.
before
On
you
the.
jump,
Uh,
because it's going to break before you have the jump back, probably.
I mean, probably cover on the right side.
Right. Chill here on corner, right? Chill out, and then if they start pushing you, you can jump all the way back over here and chill out this way, right? You can also jump all the way out this way. I don't like this as much. I would rather this because it keeps you on the angle and there's a lot more cover out here
Yeah.
and mega out here and everything else. But again, you are stopping these guys from taking all of this space for free off of this ball's push. You're going to be having to get rid of the space eventually, but it allows your team to come back and start shooting a lot faster. So this is cool. Right? Nice. Nice. Now, again, you did jump out really early. I honestly wouldn't jump out just yet because again, right, like not only was your ball here, right, but you weren't under any direct threat immediately. Now, if you were something if you were something else that was slower, then I would like you trying to move away now, right? But you're a lot faster than that, so trying to just hold on to the angle until like you need to, right? Because now you need to walk back up here because
Yeah.
your echo's in, but now you're not there. And now you're desynced again from your echo. Right. And now you're down one. Don't. No. Why am I saying no?
I mean, same thing as before. Is that my team's way too far back.
Your team's way
They
too
can't.
far back. You have no chance of being able to stop this enemy team from doing literally anything. You have that. Your team has ults. Your team is going to have to press every single ult button that they have right now at the same time. Or we can just literally just give up some space a little bit and then just go in and take a fight in a better position and then use our ults again after the fact, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Because again, no space, right?
Yeah.
We did, however, get the pick on the we did, however, get the pick on the Soldier 76. So there's that. Right? But use Primal just to be in the exact same situation that we would have been in anywhere else. Right? Nice. Don't go for the Soldier. Go for the Mercy. This is the one time where target priority actually matters, right? Because this is easier to kill. Right? Okay? I'm not going to say anything more on that because that makes a lot of sense. Okay, where are you staging?
I think I actually end up going top right.
Top right is in where? Like here?
Where it says Atria. Yeah.
Right here? This is well, yeah, but like what cover do you have in a position like this?
I might be wrong, but I think if you go to the back and crouch, they can't shoot you.
If I go, oh, if you go to the back and crouch on this, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it and haven't gotten shot, but that could also just be plat.
I'm uncertain. I would have to look a little bit more on that one, but you might be right. But either
Yeah.
way though, this staging is relatively mid.
Okay.
Relatively mid, right? Again, even staging from up here is still also kind of mid because it's again from a similar angle. What about something like back here?
Um, I think I would be scared I would just get poked and not have my healers with
Well,
me.
yeah, but like,
But
where's the enemy team, right? Or like,
nowhere.
if they walk up to this position out here, are we gonna? Is this gonna be like somewhere where we're gonna be able to fight them?
Yeah.
Right. So at that point, once they're there, you jump and then you get over there,
Mhm.
right?
Okay, that makes sense.
So that makes sense. So then this staging would be really good. And
Okay.
again, it's just cover and then distance. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now let me see. You know, you might be right. You might be right. But I still don't like it.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. Actually, it is. Actually, you know what? You're not wrong. This is actually pretty good if they make this rotation. I was just thinking that they weren't going to do it, but at the same time, that this is also okay, right? Because now all you need to do is just drop here with bubble on his face, walk
Yeah.
behind this, start shooting at him, and then you get the jump next time, and then you get the jump again. So if these guys just start walking up or doing something funny, then you can jump again wherever you need to jump to. So this is okay, but you do kind of walk and drop here, which is whatever. But now where are you going to jump to?
Um, Probably back left, or honestly, just all the way back to my team. They're really far back. I don't know. And there's a bob. I would
Right.
say into that room there, but there's a bob in there. So
Right. Okay. Would jumping out here, because again, you have a lot of distance on jump. You have a lot of distance on jump. Would
that's true.
jumping
Yeah,
out
I could
here
jump back
and
there.
then just kind of trying to run back here and chill out here be fine? And if the
Yeah, I
ball
totally
comes,
could.
just like kind of just fight the ball. Because again, it's a ball. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So like this would be fine. But then once you need to go in again, if the fight ends up coming back this way, then you could just stage right here. Right. So
Yeah.
it's jumping out to get the staging position again. I just realized that I recently did a monkey kind of VOD review, but the audio was a little bit screwed up, so I couldn't use it for a video. But now this is a lot better, right?
But I can help.
So now I can just talk about all monkey mechanics and staging and timing and all of that stuff,
Yeah.
and actually get audio from it. So this is going to be great. Okay, they just popped their stuff. Again, problem though. This is slightly problematic. First of all, was that window popped already? Yeah, it was, right? But problem is though that you don't have good staging at all to kind of go in for a dive.
Yeah.
It's just you're just going to be front to back jumping in, and that's also how you're going to get hit with like a whole bunch of cooldowns and stuff, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I look at this fight and like I like don't really know why we're fighting. Cuz like I feel like the soldier is kind of trolling by running that far ahead of his team with his ult.
Right.
Um like I don't know cuz like
So what are you asking specifically?
well like so I fight the ball here and he runs away. And like it seems like it should just be like I don't know. My instinct is to just hide because they use two ults and they don't really they're not really close enough to our team that they
Right.
can like follow up on
Right.
them.
Look,
I mean,
that's
like they can kill our Ana because she's like in the open, but
yeah. No, and that's correct. What I was saying before is that like the problem is the staging position is bad. I wasn't necessarily
okay,
saying that this is the time where you need to like just go and hard jump in because you need to do like no, you kiting this is definitely the right decision, the right play. It's just that right
okay,
here is that like even though you
okay,
still have the ability to control when you're in the fight, you don't have the ability to kind of like go in from a direction that they aren't paying attention to or they can't afford to
Okay,
pay
yeah.
attention to, right? And so if the enemy
So
team like
I
had
could go like top left or something.
right, or like you like if you were back here still, like this would be good staging. If you're back over here, which you could go back over here, this would be decent staging as well. But again, if they had something like Ana or Brig or Lucio or even Ash that they do have or something like that where you can get hit with a cooldown, the number one way to get hit with cooldowns is just jumping through main, right?
Okay,
It's
that
going to
makes
be the
sense.
same with Ball, going to be the same with Doomfist, going to be the same with the every other dive tank, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only like it's the same with Reinhardt because I consider him a dive tank as well as Malga, but that Malga is the only exception to this rule because he can't be CC'd.
Okay.
W, where do you jump?
Um, I think honestly just the doorway up top in front of me.
High ground, here, stage. Wait until you have opportunity. Your team goes in to start shooting at things. If it's immediate, if it's instant, then you can drop and do whatever you want. But this gives you options.
Okay.
This does not give you options.
It does not.
And that's the consequence of not having options.
Okay.
Nice. I don't like, I mean, okay, I get the bubble, never mind. It's just like, that's kind of like information thing, but you didn't really have the opportunity to kind of think about information there. No. Okay, good. Good. Where's stage?
I think this top left room is good.
Okay, right. Let me, I want to see if I can try something real quick, right? All right. Let me see if I can try something real quick. So if I kind of drew a line right here, this is going to be like, if you can see that line, this line over here is going to be the kind of line for your staging. You see how it's still going to be the same distance from the rest of from your team,
Okay.
all the way
Yeah.
through, right? So it means anywhere you go over here is going to be a decent staging position for you to start, staging for going in, right?
Okay.
And then that way, once your team kind of pushes through main this side, if you're over here, you can push through on this side. If you're over here, you can push through on this side, and then you can do whatever the heck you want. But it's just this
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
line is kind of the thing that you want to be looking at, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good way to think about it.
Okay, so then where? Here, here,
Yeah. I mean,
both of those
right
are
side.
great, right?
Yeah.
Here, still okay, but then the problem is, whatchamacallit, the problem is that, like, again, you're not an angle, not an angle. Now, again, you could also maybe go here for staging, but they have Ball and Kiriko now and Mercy now, so it means that they have a little bit more verticality, so it means that this becomes a lot less desirable, right?
Okay. How much should I think about that with my staging? Like, their team comp.
The team composition, the enemy team composition, the only it actually, now that you say that, that is something that is it's very important to think about, because the
Okay.
distance between you and the enemy team is very much so dependent on their mobility and how much
Yeah.
mobility that they have. So if the enemy is running very high mobility, again, you still want to keep the same distance, but it's going to mean that their immediate engagement distance, or the distance that they're going to be to kind of throw cooldowns at you. Remember how I was talking about with Sigma over here, that like these guys were too far away? That distance is going to be widened extremely, right?
Okay. That
So
makes
it means
sense.
that, like, if they're running like a high mobility comp, to be honest, if the second that they get here, right, you're engageable,
Okay.
right? And if you're in a situation where you don't want to trade yet, then this sucks. So you need to be playing really far away, and so is your team, in order to be able to kind of like deal with that in this situation. The enemy team isn't playing that high mobility right now, so you can start playing a little bit closer in terms of your staging. When it comes to their mobility, the closeness also depends on their verticality, so using a lot more or less vertical staging in those terminologies. Like if they have like 5 vertical heroes, you wouldn't be positioning here. You would want to be positioning, farther back, like maybe over here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But those are but that's a really, really good question. It's a really good question. So,
Okay.
you do need to be thinking about their composition, but mainly be thinking about their mobility. How much mobility
Okay.
do they have? Can they reach me? That's it.
Okay.
Okay? This is fine.
ADHD. Yeah.
This is fine. I don't like the hard peeking. I don't like this bubble placement. Why?
Um. I don't have a good cover to use, and my bubble's gonna break
And
immediately.
right,
It's a bastion.
you don't have good cover to use. Your bubble's going to break immediately. It doesn't matter because it's just a bastion. But what's the specific reason as to why I don't like the bubble being placed right here as opposed to being placed somewhere else?
It doesn't like cut off their team at all.
Okay, my question is, where's your team?
They're back fighting the ball.
Right, they're back over here. Now, they are in, kind of in a predicament with the minefield here, sure, but I mean, these mines can be cleared out really easily, right? Are they in a spot where they can see you fighting up now?
No,
How far would they have to walk in order to do that?
really far.
Right? That changes if you fight the people with bubble here, because now
Okay.
they can see. You get what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
again, where's your team? Are they able to see the fight? Are they able to contribute into the fight? If the answer is no, then not good bubble timing, not good bubble placement.
Okay.
So you get nothing off of that, plus the enemy team is able to kind of clear out the space that they want for free.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm going with primal, but it's same
Right.
problem.
Same thing. Same thing, and you're down 2.
Yep.
Okay. Because I know it's going to work. Because I know it's going to work. And that's the thing that I hate about this. This is stupid. This is fundamentally poor and bad by like every means, but I know it's going to freaking work. Okay, nice. And I don't really like the pathing you took. I would rather you get yeah, I would rather you gone over here because this kind of again is going to start putting you closer again, right? Because this is closer to closer and you're able to be reached here, right? But right, like whatever. Okay, this is fine. 100%.
Right to stop chasing her, because I just assumed she would TP out, but...
Okay. Well, in this scenario particularly, I mean, you do assume that she's going to TP out. Doing this would kind of push you even farther out of the fight. So it's like, okay, I don't want to get really far because I want to be able to get back into the fight now. But then again, if you did chase her fully, then you could jump onto the Ana later, right?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Right, but this is fine too. This is okay too. This is fine too.
Okay.
And
same
this,
bubble placement thing.
Right, right. The bubble placement thing again, but at the same time, like your team's kind of more or less like at capacity with what they're engaging on right now. Now, but I would rather the bubble placement over here.
Okay.
Good. Right. Now, I'm wondering though, is there a world where you can just chill back out here?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I just thought not to fight there because that's not the normal place to fight. But
what do you mean by normal place to fight?
Well, actually, I could chill for a while and let them push up. Like, don't you usually want the cart to be like a little bit closer to the corner?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, 100%. But again, it's like your team's not going to be there anytime soon. So, and you just want to have good staging. So, if you kind of jumped out here and like you just chilled out here, get the mega or whatnot, can you come back and jump back the second that the enemy team like walks up to around this area?
Yeah, totally.
Right, right. So then that would give you that staging back again, right? Whereas if you're trying to play back here, right, the only place that you could really stage for is at the end of this choke over this way. And even then, this feels a little bit more compressed. All right. Like, right when
this was another. Yeah. He was low, and I jumped. And I probably shouldn't have.
No. But the difference, though, is that is your team kind of in a position where they're like fighting, and is this Ashe in a position where she can contribute, and this Kiriko in a position where they can contribute? Right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Can contribute close to being able to be able to contribute, right? Your echo's already down. You're already down 1. This is a very important choke to be able to take and to secure. This is fine. You just need to be playing very, very carefully, and you need to be really, really quick about what you're going to do next, right? Okay? Because this is not it. This is it. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get it? Wait for wait for maybe even Bab to pop his ult or something like that, or you just start building yours. But this was smart. You need to be smarter in how you do this, because now you just gave it back for free.
Yeah.
Okay, we like the staging. I don't like the over peaking. Wait, where is the enemy need to get to in order for us to start really fighting here?
The corner.
Right, corner out here. Right, that's gonna be where we're gonna be fighting, 100%. This is too far. Right, so again, you need to get cleared out. And again, this habit of kind of jumping out back to your team constantly is only being reinforced by the fact that you're placing your bubble in horrible positions here, because now your bubble trades are not getting enough value. Right.
That makes sense.
Right, and then now you're in horrible situations, so you're going to be like, now I need to go and really get a bubble trade now. But again, if you get a bubble trade now, your bubble's going to break instantly, and then you're going to need to have to think about it again. Right, so it's just going to keep on reinforcing that. This is fine. I like this bubble placement. Right, like the kill. Go for it. You have to. Right. You were waiting for the bubble, and I think that's fine. Just go for the Bastion. Just go for the Bastion. You have the Primal. You have the Primal. You need to go for the Bastion. Alright. But this is fine. I just wouldn't trust that my team would be able to live that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Are you in main right now? Or like if I kind of go like this, are you in main right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but is this a decent place for you to stage?
Honestly, yeah, because my team's not all shooting the same angle.
Right, your team is over here. Right, yeah. And if they hold this position, if they hold this angle, then it means that as the enemy team kind of comes up this way, then I can use this position to kind of just jump through and hit main right now. Right. In fact, actually, you could probably jump right now.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Right, I'm fine with this though. Timing, when, not now, where.
Yeah.
When.
I think sometimes, like I saw my Ashe die, and I feel like I get flustered when that happens. And I feel like I have to go.
As you should get flustered when that happens, but even when you get flustered, you need to make sure that what you're doing is still going to work. Right? Okay. But, like, yes, when I see my teammates die, that's probably going to be a kick up my butt for me to try and do something too. Right? Yeah, but do it smart. This isn't it.
Okay.
Not it at all. Right. Okay, let's speed this up, because this is getting real long, but we love to see it, because it's a monkey game, and I love watching monkey.
I really appreciate you taking the time, too. This has been really helpful.
All right. I'm sorry. I just love seeing people hit scans here, because I'm still in my my Pharah brain where I could just walk out of spawn and just boop them off the map. So I just get neuron activation every single time I see somebody just standing up here. All right. They got bubbled though, so it's unfortunate. But
yeah.
This is fine. Okay. Now let me ask you this: if your team starts walking through main like this, right? So let's say your team kind of walks through main, and the kind of the line of staging ends up being like this. So like your team's through here, right? And then like it kind of goes around this way. Couldn't you stage somewhere like around here?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be along the same angle. You could stage out here and then just kind of use that to go in and backline, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. There's just things to think about. Just things to think about. Right. Now you want to know we saw high ground and how high ground was a really powerful tool for staging. But you want to know what also is a really powerful tool for staging?
What?
Stealth. Being sneaky. Sneaky. And you go up here, sneaky monkey. You chill here. You wait. They don't know that you're here. Bam. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't know that you're there, then they can't punish you for being there.
Yeah.
You just need to make sure it's reasonable that they don't know that you're there, right? Not like, oh, I'm just going to hope, right? Like, actually do the things that are necessary to be sneaky about it.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I don't try and sneak at all because of that.
Right.
Not great.
I don't even need to say anything. HP, speaks for itself. Or
The Tracer did steal my health pack, I will say.
yes, 100%. That's all the Tracer's fault. You did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Reported, avoided as team.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just show. Okay, let's take a look inside a book. Okay, no. Decent staging. Where are they going? Oh, they're going underneath. Right? I hear them going, all right. Oh, people are going on high ground too, so I need to deal with that. What do you do? People are going high ground. People are going underneath. What do I do?
I mean, probably just pick one, honestly. It's not like... it's not like I'm gonna have to use a cooldown for either of them.
Right. You just pick one.
Yeah.
You just pick one. Okay. Now, which one seems like the easier one to go for?
I think... because it's a bastion, probably low ground.
Right. My thoughts is it's a bastion, but also it's a bastion where the cover up here is a little bit awkward. Right?
Yeah, true.
Right, so if the cover up here is a bit awkward, I'm thinking, okay, maybe just drop down low ground and fight here, because if the Bastion and the Baptiste kind of walk out here, then my Bastion, my Ana, and my Kiriko are able to shoot at that. Right?
Yeah.
Especially if I make sure that these guys don't do anything. Now, do I walk into this room?
No.
No, you just sit here, and you just chill, and you just make sure that they don't walk. Because if they walk, then they get shot by Monkey, and if they don't walk, then they don't get space.
Yeah.
Perfect. She's just saying hello, oh my goodness. Right? We like it. Like that. You know what to do. You know what to do. It doesn't matter if there's a Bastion there. You gotta. Right?
Should I wait for my bubble, though?
Yes, but, like, I would probably wait until, like, your bubble is at, like, 1 second.
Okay, but,
Right.
like, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible, because your team is getting turned into Swiss cheese right now. Like, we don't want to do that. And this is not great. You want to stay up here. Stay up here, keep doing damage as much as possible.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Right, but yeah, this is kind of over. Okay, I'm not even going to let it get to that point. Okay.
Fair enough.
Right. Oh, what is going on? What is... Oh, that is not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Okay. Right, so... Everyone's favorite time. Right? End of video, points of practice.
Okay.
What are 3 things that we talked about today?
staging and like distance specifically with staging
Mm-hmm.
of um like I can be far away from my team, but I have to be like equally far from the enemy
Right,
team
right.
as my
We'll,
team.
we'll get to that part. We'll get to that part. What about another thing? What's another thing we can work on?
Uh, I guess this one's more mechanical, but bubble placement,
Okay.
like micro to where my team can see me and who I'm fighting.
Okay, so micro, right? We can talk about that. And then what's a third thing? It's kind of tied with
Um,
staging.
it is other than the distance thing. Um,
Because we stage, we were really good at staging, but if you're really good at staging, then nothing happens. So what do you need to make sure that things
oh,
happen
timing,
correctly?
timing, timing.
Timing, correct. Right. Now let's go on to the individual things. When it comes to staging, right? We talked about distance, right? So similar distance, right? Making sure that you're not getting cleared out. That is going
Yeah.
to be an incredibly important staging. What's another important aspect of staging that we talked about?
Um, well, similar to distance, but high ground
Right?
is kind of a way to cheat distance and the
High
other team's mobility.
ground. I'll just say high ground cheat, right? And
Yeah.
then finally, what's one thing that's really important for your staging, even if you have that distance, right?
I want to say timing again, but
Yeah, yeah, but again, where do we want to stage from? Even if the distance is good, what other thing about our staging needs to be good, for us
cover
to, well,
or
sure, but what about when we're kind of going in, we want to take attention away. How do we take attention away?
like from an angle.
Right from an angle,
Okay.
right? So there's that. Done. Boom. Now when it comes to micro, what are the things in micro that we talked about?
Bubble placement.
I'm going to
One I mentioned
say
earlier.
this in terms of not only your Winston but your Sigma as well. Shield
Yeah.
placement,
Yeah.
right? Okay. What's also another important thing
Uh,
that we talked about as well to defend
it's
yourself?
um to defend myself.
Mm-hmm.
Was that?
When
I
you're
mean, on Sigma, my cover usage was bad. Um,
right, right. Now,
I think you said it was better on Winston. It's
it
still
was
not
better. It was
perfect,
better on
right?
Winston. Was not
Yeah.
perfect, right?
Oh no, no, no.
And it's not going to be perfect, but we can always get
Hmm.
better.
And like I think over peaking specifically, you mentioned.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Over peak, right? So we can get
Yeah.
better at that. Now, when it comes to timing, what is the big thing that tells you when to time your stuff?
Um. I mean, it's distance in your team if they're doing stuff.
Where's. Oh my goodness, I cannot write. Where's my team? Right? And
Yeah.
there's also one other important caveat, right? Even when your team is there and doing things, um, there is kind of one reason, and I think I glossed over this briefly, but there is one type of situation where even if your team is there, you still don't want to engage in. What situation do you think that is?
Um. Was that like? Was that like the stealth point
No,
of?
no, it wasn't. It
Or
wasn't
okay.
South Point. No,
Um. When I wouldn't want to engage in.
right. Even when my team is there, when
Mhm.
do I still not want to engage? What would make it bad for me to engage into a space when my even when my team is there shooting?
Um. Well, I guess if someone's on my angle, I should just fight them. Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, but if you're fighting them, then that's pretty much the same thing as fighting at the same time as the rest of your team, right? As long as you're fighting something. but you're fighting at the same time as your team. Now, the key thing here is that when your team is kind of fighting in some place, right? And you want to fight too, obviously, there's going to be one particular situation where you should not be able to, or you should not be going in and fighting because you're not going to be helping. You're just going to be losing more than you're gaining in that situation, even when your team is still there. What do you kind of think that what is? Kind of, right? That's one. That wasn't what I was thinking of, but I'll say that. I'll put that one down. That's a big one. I'll put an exclamation mark on that one, right? But there is one more thing, right? One more thing. What is when I'm on Winston? When am I not dealing damage to the enemy team?
When they're far away.
When they're far away, right? So how do I make sure that they can't get far away? Or that people who are far away can't hit me.
I mean, that's cover again.
Right. But more importantly, when we were saying where we were going in and where we were engaging and where we were placing all of these bubbles and all of these things, what types of spaces did we do that in?
Oh, like close range?
Close range spaces, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Close range space. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this one. All right, so I'm going to do that right there. Right? Close range space is a really, really important thing, really important concept. When you are not fighting in a close range space and you jump out into the open with a bubble timing, you cannot force your effective range, which essentially means that a lot of people who can be outside of your effective range are able to shoot at you and deal damage to you without you being able to deal damage back to them. Right?
Yeah.
The way that you would force your effective range is by playing in close range spaces. That way, no matter what, the only way they can shoot at you is if they're in your effective range, and that gives you at least a significant advantage. When your team goes in, if you do not have a close range space where you can engage on people from, all you're doing is just wasting your bubble and wasting your resources and not getting anything in return from it. You need to make sure that when you are going in, you always have a close range spot to go to try and shoot at things. All right. Okay. Now, really quickly here, I am going to can you take a screenshot or write some of these things down?
Yeah, let me take a screenshot. And are you gonna post the video? Because I'll totally rewatch it.
Yeah. No, this is definitely gonna be one I'm gonna post. It's just that I have a backlog of videos that I haven't posted yet, so it might take a while.
Okay. Screenshot has been taken, I believe.
All right. Just for redundancy's sake, I took a screenshot and a little snippet, and I'm going to send that one to you as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Now, when it comes to practice, right, and how you're going to try and practice these concepts, most important thing that I say all of the time, one thing at a time. Take one of these concepts, not just the staging or the micro at the time, but one of the sub-concepts that we talked about, right? Focus on that one thing the entire game, nothing else. I want complete, pure focus on that one thing. Now, again, I say this all the time. I'm going to say this to you. You will suck. Right?
Okay.
You will suck because you are going to be but that's okay. When you're focusing on doing one thing, you are not going to be focusing on all the other numerous things that you need to be doing, so you're going to probably suck, and it's going to hurt. The biggest important thing is that you are practicing and focusing on improving that one particular aspect of your gameplay so that you get it to the point where you don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go and move on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, right? One concept at a time per game. Do not try and do multiple concepts at the same time.
Okay.
That's going to slow down your ability to focus. One at a time, right? Or if you cannot focus for a full game straight, because that is a very hard thing to do, I will not lie to you to say that it's easy. It is a very difficult thing to do. What I like to do is I like to say, instead of doing the whole game and focusing on this the whole game, I will make the first 3 fights of a game perfect. in this regard.
Okay.
So if we are
Okay.
focusing on the similar distance part, I am going to, for the first 3 fights, I'm going to make sure I'm staged at a, at an exact same distance from my team. Well, not actually. It depends on the circumstance, right? But you want to
Yeah.
make sure that that part is very, very, very well done for first 3 fights, and then after that, you can do whatever you want. But if you
Okay.
can maintain focus for longer than that, do so. It'll help you very greatly, right?
Okay.
Now, in terms of all of these things that we kind of want to, in terms of like what you should be doing and when, right, and the order that you should do it, I would recommend working on your staging first, right, timing second, and then micro third, right.
Okay.
Micro is going to be something that you're going to be able to do universally. It's just that
Yeah.
timing is going to be like something that's going to be hard for you to do when your staging is poor, right? So
That makes
having
sense.
good
Yeah.
staging, a good strong foundation in staging is an extremely important thing, and then you can do the timing part also on top of that later.
Yeah.
Micro, I just say that for last because that's going to be the least impactful thing in comparison to staging and timing for you, right? But these are all going to be extremely important. But here's the deal: if you are not having fun, you are not practicing, you are not learning at the most effectiveness as possible. If you get bored of
Okay.
doing one of these concepts, you can switch to another concept, any concept that you want to do. The most important thing is that you're having fun, because when you have fun, you can focus, right?
Okay.
If this feels horrible and you are in a game where you are feeling like absolute crap, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to just take a break or move on and do
Okay.
something else, right?
Okay.
Making sure that you have the right amount of focus is an extremely important thing. All right. That is
Yeah.
probably going to be all from me about the practice parts. Do you have, and that probably is going to be close to wrapping up this review. Do you have any questions?
I guess the big one is like, how often should I go back and VOD review my own games? Should it be like every game? Should I pick like one a day, or like
Okay.
what would be the best way? Because I feel like a lot of these, like, maybe I'll like feel like I'm doing well in the game, and then if I go back and VOD review it, like I can really assess myself on
Right.
how well I'm actually doing
Right.
things.
Okay. So that's a really, really interesting question. Again, it does depend on how much time that you have, right? So
Yeah.
if if I'm kind of like, if I don't have that much time, then I'm obviously not going to be doing a VOD review, like every single day, right?
Okay.
A VOD review after every game does kind of feel excessive to me, at least. But I mean, what you can do is you can go for a quick review, right? Where you're
Okay.
literally just going through fights, seeing, did I do this thing? Did I do this thing? Did I do this thing? And not looking at for kind of like anything else. And I think that one a day is a lot and is going to be extremely helpful for you in terms of your improvement later on, right?
Okay.
If you don't want to do one a day, sure, you can do it. You can do like once every couple of days. Just do
Okay.
that. I would just recommend doing it with like more than just one VOD at that point, right?
Okay. Yeah. That makes
But
sense.
yeah, I personally, that's something that I kind of struggle with too, and I'm practicing is finding out like the exact time that I can try and do VODs. What I do reasonably is like some of these days when I'm practicing, I'll just play a bunch of games. I'll get three good VODs that I'm gonna VOD review, and then I'll VOD review like three in a day. But that's just because
Okay.
I have that kind of time and I have the experience in terms of VOD reviewing, so it's not that painful for
Okay.
me, right? And I know what I'm looking for. But
Yeah.
I think realistically speaking, when it comes to VOD reviewing, the big key thing is just knowing when you're doing stuff wrong. If you have an
Yeah.
idea, a good idea, or being able to confirm that you're not doing things wrong. If you have a good idea of what you're doing and you're doing fine with it, you still need to do those VOD reviews. I just wouldn't do them, too often because you want to put more of your time into the actual practice itself,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Okay.
helpful.
Yeah. Any more questions?
I don't think so.
All right. So then that will be all for today's video. Do you want to say bye to everyone watching?
Yeah. Bye, everyone. This was great. I recommend. Um. Yeah.
All right. See y'all.